From Texas to spending, Kamala Harris is the most left-wing candidate for a major party since George McGovern, who proposed a universal basic income in 1972 and went on to win a single state. But her most harebrained scheme so far has been price controls, where she is to the left of McGovern, as she threatens to punish grocery stores for daring to charge more than their cost. In fact, grocery stores make 1 to 2 pennies on the dollar, meaning they have to pass along costs that come straight from the Washington money printer. In a recent video, I mentioned how price controls have been tried many times, and each time they failed so spectacularly, they were repealed after much pain, suffering, and empty shelves. When France tried, they had a black market that actually did price gouge. Even Venezuela repealed price controls in 2016 after food shortages and nationwide riots. But what do price controls look like in reality? For that, I go to a great thread by Robert Sterling, a former M&A executive at one of the biggest food producers in America, Cargill. Robert walks us through a 13-step process from grocery price controls to widespread food shortages, something we have not seen in this country since the Great Depression, when FDR also imposed price controls. So first, government announces that grocery stores cannot raise prices even though inflation continues, courtesy of the Fed and Wall Street. That means their costs keep going up, so those pennies of profit turn into losses. Like any business that's losing money, they shut down. Of course, not all grocery stores are created equal. Small ones lack economies of scale, and while rich people buy high-margin vegetables and expensive cuts, the poor buy low-margin packaged foods. So the small stores and the low-income stores go first. You get food deserts as people in urban centers or rural areas have to drive miles or take multiple buses to find food, and ironically, you get more concentration as the smaller grocery stores drop out. The survivors increasingly are not even selling food. They shift shelf space to things that are not price-controlled: clothing, furniture, supplements. Grocery stores start to look more like a dollar store with a little food and a lot of junk. As cities clear of food, you'd need police patrolling parking lots, armed escorts on delivery trucks. Perhaps you could even have government-run groceries like Chicago just announced. The only way to save any grocery stores is to price control their costs, meaning food producers like Kraft, Heinz, Tyson, Hormel. Of course, again, Kraft's costs are not being controlled. Their ingredients, wages, parts, and electricity, so now they are losing money. Like groceries, they wind down, closing marginal factories, running out equipment, and then not replacing it. As food producers downsize or go under, now you start getting actual food shortages. The only solution, once again, is price control, the next level down, which is farmers. You are now full Venezuela with a complete government takeover of the food supply, central plan from farmer to grocer. As Sterling puts it, quote, "The government will struggle to operate one of the most complex industries on the planet. The entire food supply chain starts imploding," as in starvation. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. It is very unlikely we will actually get starvation for the simple reason that at some point the frog boils and the voters or rioters share their thoughts with policymakers. That's exactly why price controls fail from France to Venezuela. Unfortunately, if the morons running Kamala's brain trust are dumb enough for price controls, they're dumb enough for a whole lot more. Read the rest at the newsletter at profsatange.com with charts and all the gory details. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.